Hi guys, welcome to Creation Lab Soapery channel. Today we're going to be making a pirate soap. I've had too much time on my hands, and so hopefully I didn't make this soap too complex. We've got a total of 8 colors and a drizzle which make the 9 going into it, so we'll see how it goes. Anyway, so this is the soap. We're going to be doing a pirate soap, and so I'll show you my embeds. This is the deep water, this represents the boat, and this represents the waves in the water. And I'm gonna do a gold drizzle because pirates always, you know, they gotta have their gold. This will be the wheel, which we have right here. And then we have some of the little pistols, which we've got 2 different kinds. And we have the little black one and then a little brown one. And then we have some, I think it's called a cutlass, which is a pirate sword. So we're gonna be trying to see what we can do. We're gonna be working with this Cuban cocktail fragrance. This one has, let's see, a spicy blend of heat is what it just described with tropical fruity notes, which to me kind of reminds me, I think, of pirates. Spicy, but then fruity because they're going to tropical places. All right, so with that, I've got all these little cups here. These are my blues. These are some of my browns. Then these are my blues for on top. And then I got my gold drizzle. And we'll see how well we can get that to go. I might be doing a little bit of mixing with the whisk today instead. And I'm gonna do probably, I'm gonna got a separate one for my browns here. And I'm gonna probably try and do a little more fragrance so they stay a little floaty, so maybe I can get some better lines in there. We'll see how it goes. So with that, I'm gonna start with mixing my lye solution into my water. And this will be available about the 2nd week of April. So, all right, we'll do a little light mixing. All right, I think that should do. And I will put that there just to kind of keep less on my counter. Okay. All right, and so we have got 2 colors for the bottom. And so I'm gonna put, and then we're gonna have the top, which will have 3 colors. And they will be less on the bottom, more on the top. So I'm just gonna do about that. And then that, I'm just gonna check and see where kind of we're at. It's at about the 1 cup mark. I'm blind and I can't see those little numbers from up here. And if I have any blue left over, that should be about it. Then I will go and gonna sit there and just put it with the top on swirls, and it will be perfectly fine. All right, so I kind of wanted deeper colors, and so I got these 2 mixed up. I got chopsticks, you know, the free ones. So I'm just gonna use this to help get it out and get it into there, mix it up a little bit. It's really pretty blue. I found these little cups at Walmart, and so I figured that's a pretty good way to pre-mix it. Okay, we'll put that like that. And then set this to the side. And then I have a little bit of navy blue with a teeny bit of indigo powder. Now I don't really remember what indigo powder, like what its final thing is. So there's just a little bit, just kind of also figured mines will experiment a little, but that's a real deep kind of navy color. Hopefully it goes that color in the final. And when you mix, the colors change so much. All right, so then I'm gonna set that aside. And then we've got, of course, got to get some fragrance oil in both of these. Now these I'm okay with if they get a little stiffer. In fact, I would prefer not too bad, but a little bit, because we're gonna try and use my makeshift improvise kind of tool. I made this little thing. It's just a piece of cardboard with the thing wrapped up around it with saran wrap, so that I'm gonna try and do that line down the middle and see how that works. But first we'll start with mixing the light color. Woo. Because it's so low, we got a little splashy. And just want to mix it up so that it gets a little thicker. That scent smells divine. All right, let's see if we go dark. So it might be that indigo powder, but this one has a little bit of a gray tint. But that's okay, because if it stays that way, I should say, let's see, it's pretty liquidy. We'll see if we should mix it just a teeny bit. But if it stays that way, murky, deep, dark water, yeah. All right. So I'm gonna try and just do like a mix here, because it's just gonna swirl together. And hopefully it thickens a little bit for me. Okay. So then I'm also gonna just take the chopstick and swirl it a little. Going in just different directions. We'll see how that does. And then I'm gonna sit there and scrape what's left into there. It's getting a little thicker, but not enough to hold its shape. So we'll see what we can hopefully do. This may be, I have been so nervous trying to figure out editing videos. I really need to. But I'm afraid, like, if I mess up one of my videos where I've recorded, that the original version would be gone too, so it would be a waste of both. But sometimes you have to just try it. So this one, if it takes too long thickening up or something, we'll have to, or takes too long, we'll just have to see what we can do in regards to that. Let's see. It's honestly probably a good time to spend some time on Skillshare. I know there's lots of editing videos on there. And I got little wet wipes set to the side. I'll clean up our mess. And then I will just kind of take this through. It's still pretty fluidy, and do a tap down. And I think I'll get another, just like, they're just basic wet wipes, like baby wipes that I use. Actually, these ones are compostable wipes from Seedling. So they're good for the environment. At least they don't take a long time to decompose or what. Now, I know that when I scrape out this and that, let's see, it's getting close to there. When I scrape out this, I'm gonna have extra. And so I'm just gonna be putting that extra into here to put in with piping later. So we're not gonna waste nothing, and I'm gonna try. And I don't know how well you're gonna be able to see this, and I'm gonna just try and see if I can do it. No. I'm just gonna go in one straight line. And then there'll be a lot of cleaning up and scraping out. It's kind of gotten high on the sides there, so we'll see what we can do here. It's my first time doing a tool like that. I had to tap down because I scraped too much close to the bottom. And so, and I'm going to show you something in a minute, and it wasn't planned, but I think it kind of works for it. Okay, let me do this. Whatever utensils you can find to do cleaning up is what you do. Okay, so I need to fix that bottom there. That's pretty good. I mean, here's the thing is, I have in here, I don't know if you can see, but that kind of looks like waves anyway, which when a boat's going through the water, the waves would go. So that works out perfect. So I'm gonna go and try and just, because not that it's gonna matter too much, but just kind of clean off some of this soap off of this. Okay, now let me plug it back in. Okay, and we're gonna set this to the side, and this too. And then we're gonna mix up our browns. Not with that one. Here we go, this one. It's just 10 ounces, and so pour that in. And I'm gonna try and be a little careful and tilt it because this might be a little too shallow. We'll see. And so I'm gonna do the top one, which is scrape off some of that. The things I come up with, I swear. Now this one I'm thinking is going to be so low in here that I think I'm going to have to hand mix with the blender. That's okay. And the fragrance was pretty good in there, but this is the part that I'm gonna want to have a little bit more where it doesn't solidify so much. Okay, so we'll stick this aside. We've got all kinds of dishes we're gonna have at the end of today. That's part of soaping, and I know I had a second part of the bamboo. Right here. I don't wanna mix my browns and blues. So I tried to make different shades of brown, so we'll see how that they work. This one's got like a little bit of a lighter gold. I need to get like a really light one. We'll see. Like, I'm trying to think of something, like a teddy bear brown or something like that. But I don't, but I have some TD here in case I decide to do that. And then this one would be a medium. And then I'll just pour that in there. And this one is like the really dark one. And I might even, one of them like the medium one, try and put a little TD. But we'll play it by ear. We'll put this to the side. All right, and I'm gonna just try with the mixing of this one. Should have did the lighter first. Now this one, when I did a light brown, I did put some TD in it, and it looks like it made it quite a nice lighter color. I'll show you that real quick there. Kind of hard to see, I know. Well, you know. And then this one has a little bit of gold. And so it ended up working out, and let's see how the dark one is. So, I mean, there's 3 very distinct different shades, so that worked perfect. So then we're gonna put a little bit in there. So like fragrance is all through the soap. All right, and we'll just do a little mixing. We're gonna make sure it's really good. to the side. Okay. Now we're gonna take this back over, and I think I need to fix it a little bit on this side. Where's that? Ah. I got too many containers. I chose, let's do 8 different colors, I said. Brilliant idea. Actually, if it turns out the way that I hope, it will be a good idea. All right, so I'm gonna just start with just doing like one pass. And just kind of alternating it, and because it's liquidy, it should, but it's still enough that it should separate, but mix into each other and hopefully create a nice swirl effect. Go over the waves. Hopefully that looks okay. Kind of altering the way the colors are going in so they don't look the same throughout. Sometimes doing a couple passes, sometimes doing one pass, but I can definitely in here see the 3 different distinct colors. So I'm pretty happy with that. As you guys probably watched from the previous video, our Pokemon Apocalypse soap, things didn't go as good. It started to stiffen on me, and then after that, like the way things sat and stuff, but it was my first time putting an in-bed in the middle and that, but it just didn't work out the way it did. So I ended up calling it the Apocalyptic Pokemon soap because it looked like something hit it, like a natural disaster. And technically we're in the middle of, well, I wouldn't say the apocalypse because that means the end of the world, but we're just in the middle of a national disaster and a real big mess. And I was making it because that's what my grandson, he likes Pokemon. I think his favorite is Charizard technically, but I wanted to make him a Pokeball because I'm not so good to be able to make, I wouldn't even know how to think without a mold, which is melt and pour, and I wanted to make cold process because all the hand washing everybody's doing right now is making hands dry, but this one's got coconut oil and olive oil, and it's got the sweet almond oil, which is a super vet. It's got palm oil in it and sweetened castor oil. So it actually, in my opinion, is not too bad, and it's actually going to be extra moisturizing. A lot better than, I tell you, any day. Your homemade soaps are going to be better than any bar soap you can buy in the store, you know. Not saying anything to the Irish Spring and that kind of things, but plus, like, if you're going to be washing your hands a million times, why not have something really cute to be washing your hands with? I'm just saying. And so he will get that for me, and he gets to wash his hands with that Pokemon soap. Plus, I think that the cute soaps, like you can use them in the bath. I use mine in the bath, but for him, I'm going to encourage him to. I'm going to tap this just a little. All right, so I'm not sure if you can see that. It's kind of got like a weird thing going on. I'm going to leave it like that. And then we're going to come back to this, which hopefully isn't too hard. It looks like it is kind of getting there, but let's give it a quick stir. There it goes. Okay, so, but I'm definitely not going to be using the blender with this one because it's starting to already kind of say, hey, we're becoming solid. And I have to separate it, put fragrance in it, put color, and then get it moved into the piping, which is okay that it gets a little stiff then, but I want the time to be able to do that. And I meant today to go and get some press and seal to do that with piping, but I didn't, and it's all the way out to the shop, but that's okay because, and I'm gonna put less in this one here because that one is gonna be my white, and I want just a, you know, some white, but I want my main colors to be blue, and so I'm just scraping this out into these two here. It's amazing how much soap is left in these containers that you can scrape out. So how's everybody doing staying at home? I know, like, I've seen a lot of people being upset with being at home. For us here, we're just enjoying our time together with, I wouldn't say my boyfriend's getting time because he's working a whole lot, but I mean, for the most of us that are here, we're getting time together, playing some games that we always want to play but never have time to play, and things like that. I think that's my blue stick, that's right. All right, so this is kind of like a turquoise blue. And so we'll put that in there. But I'm crafty here. I even got my boyfriend though to paint minis with me. So he likes to play D&D, well, we all do here, but I usually am the person that's like a really pearl blue. I'm the person that usually does all the painting, but I always joke with him, I do everything that you want to do, it's your turn to do something I choose to do. So I chose crafting, but instead of just saying, hey, let's do sewing project, I did consider that his likes, and so by choosing painting minis, it's something he likes, you know, like dragons and that. For D&D minis, as I should clarify, that's what it is. So we got the best of both worlds. All right, and so then I am going to, I'm trying to think if I want to start with the fragrance. Yeah. In there, in there, in there. Okay. I smell more of the fruity notes than the smoky, but you know, I'm sure it's in there. And so this here was a little bit of TD, but I think I got on side, so I gotta shake this up. I'm gonna put a little bit more because I want it to be a little bit more whiter than, you know, having that yellow tinge. So we're gonna just put this, but not too much because TD can make it accelerate really fast. Oh, that's already so much better. And what I really need to do is buy a few different ones of these whips, so I can use them for different things. But the good thing is when you're mixing, the colors kind of do mix pretty good. And then if I find that I need to do a little whip, I would have done most of it, and it's just gonna be a teeny, like this one towards the bottom is not wanting to so much, but we'll see. We'll come back to that. We'll get this one as I make it so you can't see. That's one of the things I think is a little hard to do, is remember, oh, it's going a little bit of green. The thing is, when you're making soaps, sometimes they morph into something you don't want, or sometimes they'll morph like this is a green, which I think still works for the sea. And I'm gonna mix a little bit of whiz on in everything but the white. But, you know, like it might go back. We'll have to see on our final after it's done curing. Okay, and then this one. Okay, and then what we're gonna do then is I'm gonna put inside the piping bag, we're gonna put a little bit of each one of them. Let me see how thick they are. Probably a little bit too. We'll have to give it a second, but we'll put a little bit of the white in. And just kind of so that they mix together. I don't know how well this will work. We'll see. This is all trial and error. Again, this is just some wild idea I had. Might not be in the best ideas, but you know. So I'm just gonna put a little, and then I'm gonna go over here and grab some of that blue, put that in here. So it's a lot stiffer because it was mixed a little bit ago. And then go back to some white. And then some green. That's supposed to be a pale blue. Hey, seaweed's green, right? I think it's so funny. Have you guys seen that meme with the Little Mermaid? Where she's like singing about how she wants to be part of the world, and then they're like, no, you want to stay down there, it's better down where it's wetter. You know, but as much bad as you hear in the news about people and things like that, I must say, and maybe it's just my town because it's a small town, there's a lot of people that are doing good for others. There's even people making masks for anybody in the community, not charging a dime. So I got a thing, and I'm like kind of hesitant to say this, but I'm gonna say it because, you know, freedom of speech. We got messages today from Etsy, which is where my shop is. You know, plug. It's our creation lab over in Etsy. But anyway, they're like, now's the time to make makers because people need it. And I get that it is very needed and stuff like that. So they send it to everybody saying now to put your skills and start making masks because that's what's needed right now. But I'm thinking, you know, like, Etsy's to sell it and a profit, and which I guess I could say that with soap we do make a profit off it, but I was making soap before, and actually, me and my daughter, who is my partner, if you've been following us, you know that, we actually gave a bunch of soaps to people. And you know, we kind of went with our first, like, our any leftover Christmas and Halloween stock, but just take this, no questions, you know, you need it. If somebody needs it, that it's free from us, you know. And the only thing we asked is that if they like our product, when everything's said and done, if they want to order more, then we gave them our card and said, feel free to hit us up and we'll be glad to get you more soap. And if not, you know, then that's okay too. So, but we got some, I remember that we were just meeting because I don't want anybody to know, like, kind of right now, like, it's a little cautious with things. I wasn't telling everybody my address, and so what you do for the online community is you always meet at a closest store parking lot. And this was in the beginning. Now I'm keeping more social distancing. Still really runny, we'll give that a second. But, you know, like, we would meet there, and these kids were so excited because they got some of the Halloween and Christmas things. And, you know, with our soaps, they're always extra, and they really loved it. So, all right, I guess I'm gonna just try and just put some in the bottom. It's really runny. But we'll try and go from there. And maybe I should angle this a little bit better for you guys. So it already feels a little bit better where we're getting. I'm kind of controlling it so not too much comes out at once, but now it's starting to get better. That's good. Oh, that's some of that darker color. That's why it's giving it a little hard time coming up. Maybe not such a good idea to put that in there. We'll squeeze it a little bit up. Oh, we'll do that. It will all mix together. Now it's running again. But this is the bottom one, so that's okay. So I'll put a bottom layer, and there's some more of that darker blue. kind of like gonna be a really foamy green. We'll definitely curious to see what bottom will look like, or what it will look like afterwards. All right, I'm gonna give it a second to give it a little bit. I'm gonna talk about some of the soaps that we're gonna be making. This one was just kind of where I was trying to use a lot of colors and think of some things. It's part of the fantasy theme month, and it sounds really weird to have pirates as a fantasy, but we actually asked a bunch of people if you were to have to pick something that would describe fantasy, what would you describe? And I actually was surprised with 3 or 4 people said pirates. And I was like, pirates? And I was like, but then Pirates of the Caribbean, and you know, there's games that are pirates and things like that. So I guess it could be, I guess it's just kind of, for me, a little odd because it's not what I think. But that's the thing, is that we're all different. We all come up with different things, and you know, that's the cool part of everything. But for me, my soap is Labyrinth. Come on, get a little thicker for me, guys, okay? And so that Labyrinth soap is gonna have a lot of extras, and you'll see, because I'm not gonna reveal, but oh my gosh, I'm so excited for that one. Originally, I was gonna be making it with my baby girl, but she's in lockdown at her house. In fact, she's on hardcore lockdown because we said so many times, I know on this video, but it's the truth. She has systemic lupus, and right now she is so much in danger, so she's got to avoid everything. Her fiance has to, when he comes home, do the whole thing with what nurses do, where they have to spray down, change their stuff and everything, not bring it in the house, and then head straight into the shower and things. And he's such a trooper, he does it. And he's staying out of stores, so even him going into a store can cause more problems. Where he works with trucks and heavy equipment, so he's not like directly into the public. I mean, he sees the public, but not as much as most jobs do, like a store. But we have people, me and his parents are taking turns going and getting the groceries, and then we don't bring them to them, like bring it into their house. We're dropping it off at the gate, or the doorstep, I should say. And then, of course, they wear gloves, bring them in, sanitize. Not that it's easy to get your hands on Clorox wipes, but you know, do what you can do with what you can do. And so, luckily, I had, having her, like, we practice a lot of that stuff anyway. Because of her lupus, I had stuff when people were having a hard time getting it at the stores. I already had that, because anytime that she comes down, we kind of, just because you never know, especially during winter, somebody can have a cold, somebody can have something. So whenever she's coming down, we do a house clean. I clean the showers, I clean the toilets, you know, very thoroughly, and just, you know, make sure everything has been disinfected and stuff so she can be safe here. And so when that happened, I like had all that stuff, and so I took my extra stuff. I mean, I kept one, but I took all my extra stuff. I thought it was funny because of all the bathrooms, there's ones in the rooms, etc. All right, I'm just gonna do big plops here. Use some of it, it's gonna flow over, but that's okay. It's like the waves and being whiffy. That's why I use this rounder tip, because I wanted it to be a little bit like that. I wanted it to be not with all the little lines, just frothy. Okay, Soap's taking a long time. I'm sorry about that. So I am now gonna go and see, it's like this. I'm gonna do my drizzle first because I don't want it to be all over my embeds. So what I'm gonna do, of course I got soap on my pipette, so let me clean one of these off. It just happened to touch a spoon that was next to it. So I got that mixed up, and I'm gonna do a little quick swirl and just do a little bit just to represent like gold with pirates, you know, buried treasure and all that fun stuff. I can definitely use a little gold right now. A little bit on this side. Although the greens I'm okay with in that, I just do hope it goes a teeny bit of a blue tone, we'll see. As I drizzle some onto the counter. Of course the counter needed it too. Who am I to deny it? I'm just gonna use up so what I got. Well, that should be good. Okay. I'm gonna put the knives, and I don't know whether the pillow things are like, if it's in line with 9. I'm just gonna go and stick that down. Stick out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So yeah, we need to separate a little bit. Okay. My cutter, I might end up doing this single because I need to reline my lines for my cutter on it, but the last time I was able to figure it out right. We'll see if I did it right this time, but I also can use my single cutter to kind of cut if I need to adjust it, you know, like any soaper. So we're at 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, and now I'm gonna stick these in. I'm gonna try and go in a little deep because they're a little big. And try and go, just kind of line it up. And go. They're really big. I kind of probably should have made them a little bit thinner instead of filling to the top. But, you know, you can kind of even pop those out a little bit and use it for a separate soap. One for the tub, one for the sink, you know. So, it still smells so good. Make sure I got that lined. Yep. Okay. Our puppy's like, I put her when I'm making soap and stuff so she's not noisy and not around, and that I put her into the bathroom, so she's making me know that she's not happy with me. I'm trying to figure out how I want to do this. Yeah, probably like that. I know the thing's gonna be, it's probably the best way. Really big embeds. Sometimes I do soaps like that. Like I shot the Sheriff had such big embeds on it. It was, but actually that one sold so good. Okay. All right, it's very unusual. But how does that look? I mean, I kind of really like it, so hopefully you do. And again, this will be about the second week of April into this, no, yeah, the end of April actually. I'm a little bit off. We took a couple of weeks off making soap and got behind track, so, but it's okay. We're gonna have 2 releases, and that's fine. We'll be doing one the second week of April, and this one will be towards the end of April, so that it has the full 4 weeks to cure. And again, this will be in our Etsy shop, which would be listed below, which is our Creation Lab with Etsy. You can follow us on Facebook, our Creation Lab, and please like, subscribe, and give us comments to what you think. Till next time, thank you for watching.